Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the UndeadGamingCast, episode 24, the monthly podcast where we discuss video games, the industry, and stuff and things. I think that's been like the cleanest intro and start to the podcast I've ever done in recent memory. I'm proud of myself. How are we all doing, everyone?
Should be.
Yeah, damn straight.
In all fairness, the setup was actually very clean considering how late to the actual party I was.
Yeah.
Oh,
Literally.
I think we're doing good.
We are doing
all
good.
right.
Today's going to be good. It's just we're probably going to falter on our topic, which Naz is distressed about. Look at him being all distressed.
Freewheeling it today. Freewheeling it, boys. We was relying on one person to have a bit of knowledge, and they didn't turn up.
Yeah,
so...
thanks, Humble.
Oh boy!
Calling him out. Calling him out.
In all fairness, like
Here we go.
I do enjoy my esports. It has been noted on the podcast before that I am a fan of esport, generally speaking.
It's true.
So.
Yeah. It's true. So, yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the monthly podcast where we discuss video games, the industry, and stuff and things, as we've said. So if you're new to the podcast, welcome. Thank you for listening and tuning in. We do appreciate your face. And let's give a little rundown of how we do things on the show. So generally we start things off by explaining or talking about, discussing about what we've been playing this month in video games, and then we move swiftly on to our news topics of the day, and then we round things off by basically shameless self-promoting ourselves to the high heavens so you can come and watch our precious channels and promote us and support us and love us, because we just need that. We just need that in our lives. We need recognition.
Need validation.
We need validation.
Being an actor.
Yes, of course.
Validate him.
Validate me. Yes. So, well, that's it. So let's, I suppose, run into the. Oh my goodness, Joe! It's just like making noises, like a lot of noise.
I'm a big fan of the Joe picture in the bottom of the screen, by the way.
Damn straight. Well, I mean, it's a decent replacement when there's no one here.
The goodest. He is the goodest of boys.
He is the goodest of boys. He's fantastic, is Joe. So, yes, who wants to kickstart things off with the business that we've been playing this month and stuff?
Should we get Josh to first? Because I feel like his bits will be quick.
Yeah, it's just one game, isn't it?
I feel like
No,
it will be
actually-
playing Blizzard games.
Actually, no, and I have branched out from Blizzard this month. But like, I've been in a really weird mood when it comes to gaming. Like, you know, when you're just feeling a bit like nitpicky, you like pick stuff up for like 10 minutes and then put it down, and kind of you can't quite settle on what you want to play.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of where I've been at. So I mean, like, even obviously I played a bunch of WoW, and I'm leveling at the moment a Shadow Priest, as well as a Restoration Shaman, and then like doing like kind of end game, or you know, like sort of late story quests on my Paladin, which is my main. I've played a little bit of Steep this month because I enjoy I do enjoy like snowboarding games and stuff. I find them really relaxing. So I played a little bit of that. I played a little bit of CSGO. I played some Overwatch, though I'm sure that me and Rob will probably... Well, I'm sure we'll all talk about that when...
Definitely going to talk about it.
Inevitably mentions it, yeah. So I played a bit of Overwatch.
Should we just be on our topic and just talk about how good Brigitte is?
I mean, in all fairness...
I think we could all convey to that one a bit more easily.
Yeah.
In all fairness, it's probably like also how to say her name.
Brigitte.
Because I thought it was Brigitte.
Could well be.
I think they in
one
of the promotions,
that's the topic in itself.
Could have sworn they'd said Brigitte. It's Brigitte, but again, who knows? Could be wrong.
Because she's Torbjorn's son, and so like Brigitte would make more sense.
Torbjorn's what?
Daughter, yes.
Do not assume
Spoilers, lads. I've been looking at some dodgy things on the internet.
Oh wow! And that's it for this
movies.
month. Thank you very much for tuning in. This is the last ever show that we're doing.
But no, and so
Keep promising me that, Rob.
Some Steep, some CSGO, a little bit of Titanfall 2.
God, you've been all over the place.
Yeah, I've been all over the shop. Like, and I've not really played anything for any. I played a little bit of Cuphead.
You play a little bit of Cuphead, you can't really get it. You will.
Well, I did the first boss, and I did it without being like, I did it like flawlessly. Actually, the first boss, the root gang or whatever they're called. And then I did see that like one of my favorite games and its sequel was on sale on the
What's that?
PC. Splinter Cell Conviction and Splinter Cell Blacklist.
Oh,
So I picked those up for like about a tenner. You know,
Blacklist co-op mode is wicked.
is it? I've never played the co-op. I played the co-op mode on Conviction. In Conviction, I must have played like I don't know, half a dozen times,
Hmm.
and I've done it on like I've done it always on like realistic and stuff. So I'll probably end up going through that on realistic again, playing that on and doing realistic and Blacklist as well. But I never really fell into Blacklist. I don't know why, but yeah, I mean that's been me. It's been mostly WoW and like a smattering of a few other things because yeah, I don't know. I've just had a bit of a nitpicky month, and I can't just quite put my finger on what I want to play.
It's always difficult when you're in a mood like that. You're just like,
Yeah, it's just
nothing's
like,
quite grabbing you. Nothing's really, yeah.
well, I mean, like, I went through the plethora of it, like strategy game, like I played a bit of Total War, like, and I tried like a sports game, so I played Steep for a bit, and then I tried like something that was like, you know, arcadey and kind of like difficult, so I put Cuphead on and a shooter, and I tried a couple of different shooters, and I'm just like, I don't know, I'm just feeling a bit like fed up at the minute, so it's
Yeah,
just like nothing's
I
really
get
like.
that. Like, it happens to me a lot. Like, particularly the older I get kind of like in a slump with games, and the slump will continue and continue
And the
until like
worst thing about it is like you still want to play games, but you just can't
Yeah, you don't know
pick what you
what.
want to play.
Yeah.
I see. I always don't really want. Like, I'm looking, but I'm not really want to. There's only when like a truly special game comes along. Like I had it for a while last year until Persona 5 came out and blew my mind. And then before that, like I had Valhalla come out and blow my mind, and then Undertale before. Like there's always something exceptional that comes along and gets through. It's like a cycle, I find almost.
What said you like do like a high point and then games for a bit, and then you drop off, and then another high
Yeah,
point
that's what
and
it
blame
like. My
kind
interest
of
would be
peaks
like
and drops.
Wayne, Spike, something super interesting. Like, oh, games are wicked again, and then you're like, they're all a bit the same. Oh, it's a really wicked game again, and the cycle goes on. Oh,
Are you
yeah.
wearing a Johnny Wrestling shirt, by the way?
Wearing a DIY one, yes.
I was about to say because
Because
it looks like
I
it says
love
Champ on it.
DIY. Well, specifically Johnny Wrestling, but Champ is a
Oh, yeah,
bastard
right.
man, and I hate him.
Anyway, right. So yeah, that's me. Kind of nitpicky. WoW was a staple. Kind of fed up with games, generally speaking.
Yeah.
Always good for a gaming podcast. Naz, what have you been playing this month?
Oh, good. I get to refresh the conversation, talk about some interesting games, some interesting things. So, I keep restricting mine for two because I liked it last time, having just two games to talk about. So I'm doing it again. So the first one I want to talk about is Quantum Break. I played a load of Quantum Break recently, which was on Xbox. What was it, last year?
Xbox One. It came out the year before last, I think.
Was it the year before last?
Didn't it come
Jeez.
out? Didn't it come out the same year as the Division?
That game come out. That game came out.
Yeah, it did. Yeah,
Yeah, of
I've
course
got
it
it.
did.
I've got it on. I
My
had it in
God, that
Humble,
like
just
just
not got
like
around
did
to
they
it.
just like sort of slip it out like accidentally? Like what?
Wasn't Quantum Break the one that was in line with a TV show with the same name?
That's exactly what I was going to roll into. So it's part game, part TV show. Now I'm playing at the point where the whole game's been released and the whole TV show, because like one tied into the other, events that you do in the game affect what happens in the show. So, like I'm playing it through, and it's like this. There's like never exception in both bits, but because they're both kind of interesting, like they kind of blend together really well. So like the game part of it is a very simple, like third-person shooter affair. Like it doesn't do a lot of like clever cover mechanics or anything like that, but visually it's super, super interesting. There's a bit in the second episode where you're going to like ground zero where like time is completely it's a game about time, by the way, and time travel and manipulation. It's important I get that one across because of the next bit I'm about to say. So you go to this place that's like a ground zero for where they did the first time test, and the closer you get to it, the time really starts fucking up. So like at the start, like you see like a little echo of yourself doing something, and then you'll do that thing, and then it's like, oh, it's the same thing that's playing out. So I leaped over this fence, having just watched myself leap over the fence. That's a bit weird. And when the closer you get to the center, like the more time starts mucking around to the point where you're like in the center of it, and like seasons are changing around you. You're seeing like echoes of people just flashing in and out, aging, and all the rest of it. It's mad. really
So-
visually kind of mad.
Is it kind of like a Telltale game, but with an action oriented rather than like conversation?
Yeah, so it still plays like a regular game. It's still like a decent
I'm just
shooter.
kind of confused as to how the two interact. You do 20 minutes of game and then you watch like 20 minutes of TV. Is that?
No. It's more like a couple of hours a game. I think they must have been producing a TV show alongside it.
Was the
'Cause, like,
TV show commercial then, or was it literally in the game or for the
I think
game?
it's literally in the game. I think it is released similar episodically, but they go, okay, so there's a decision that's made at the end of this episode. 44% voted to do this action, 56 this action. Okay, so we'll film a sequence with that action. So do that, and there's like there's big actors in there, like Lance Reddick, I think, is in there. The guy who voices Zavala in Destiny, he's in there. He's a super cool actor as well. Iceman from
X-Men. Yeah.
X-Men. Oh, what's his name? Sean something. Doesn't matter.
Is it David Cage game?
Is that Miles Teller?
No. He was in the Fantastic Four one. Was Miles Teller? He was in the reboot of that.
Sean
Ashmore.
Sean Ashmore.
Yeah, the second you start saying his name, I remembered it. Also, it's got Charlie from Lost, Dominic Monaghan. He's in there as well as like your brother. There's a load of like big names and stuff. Like it's you could tell it's expensively made, very well put together. And it's just like really interesting to sort of see like this sort of like really sort of like okay shooter, and then blends it really well into this like TV show you watch afterwards, which like carries on events but with different characters. So your character's still sort of like vaguely there, but like there's these other characters you don't get to see in the game. So it's like a really kind of cool extension of that. It's a lot better than the there was a game that Sony did. It was a while back. Defiance.
Yeah, that was that
Defiance.
sci-fi thing. That I watched the
They had a
pilot for
TV
that
show.
TV show. Yeah, the
Yeah,
pilot
and
wasn't
if it-
bad.
Yeah,
It's on Netflix, I think. Actually, Defiance.
probably.
It was on
But
Amazon. It's on one
that
of the
was
two.
that was like a similar kindish thing. Like
Yeah.
the events of the game would.
That was an MMO, I think.
Mm,
If I remember
Yeah.
rightly, it was an MMO.
It was. Yes, it was.
something along that.
So is Quantum Break a David Cage game?
No, it's done by Remedy, who did Max Payne, Alan
Yeah.
Wake, stuff like that. There's actually a little show within a show. I don't know why they keep doing this, but like the guy who was the face for Max Payne and was the key driver for the story of Max Payne and Alan Wake and indeed Quantum Break. He does like a little weird Twin Peaks style show in there. It's really weird. Like I only caught like it out the corner of my eye as I was coming into the first area. There's like a TV on and it's showing this commercial for this Twin Peaks style thing that's going on, and he's there with like another actress next to him. And it's just like, oh, you couldn't resist the chance to put yourself in there. Fair play. But yeah, I'm really liking it a lot. Like it's like I said, it's not revolutionary in what it's doing, but it's put together really well. And I just like having that. Okay, you're going to get to play 3 hours a game, but then you get to relax with like a solid like story driven TV show for about 10-15 minutes afterwards.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
those sections are quite short then. Right.
Yeah. Like, and I think it's because I think I'm more of a binge watcher of things.
Mm.
That it serves me well to watch it now when it's going on. But I can see it being a very good cooler type game, like water cooler type game. Like you're all gathering around, like, oh, did you play the latest episode of it? What did you think? What do you think's going to happen next? Or the rest of it? What did you vote for? It's not as involved as like a Telltale one, where there's like 12 decisions or whatever. But there's like a few key elements that if you can spot them, like pick upon them. For instance, there's like a sign in one of the episodes, and when I touched it, it sort of vanished. Then it appeared later in the TV show. So there must be like bits where like the game they've filmed extra bits in there, and they drop those in. There's like weird like, oh, check this out. It's just that was
Got a
something
little
touched in the
Sorry
game.
for the sound effects there that just happened because Josh
What
typed in the
happened?
chat. Well, it
How
happened.
did you get?
Yeah, I got the
my
teleport
gosh.
sound. It happened a while back when Naz types as well, but obviously I'll wait till I won't tell Naz what his sound effect is. But he's
I was
got
about to say
one.
I didn't realise that now.
Oh, do I?
Yeah, Naz has got one. Damn straight. I've got one in mind for Humble as well, but I need him to do something when I catch one of his streams.
Is it a trombone just going?
No, no.
Oh, that'd be so
no.
good.
It would be,
That'd be
but
really
no.
good. I can feel about.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say about it. Like, I'd recommend it if it's like you can find it for like 10 quid or whatever. Like, it's really, really good.
Yeah, I mean, I got it from Humble Bundle.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's where I got it. Like, I got a selection of decent games from that one. So yeah, there's that one. Shall we talk about my other one, which is the
Yes,
Norwood
please.
Suite, which was a game I streamed last week, and it's fucking mental.
Thursday, I believe you streamed it, wasn't it? I think.
I believe it was Thursday. I was
Yeah.
bored one Thursday, and I had the Norwood Suite downloaded, not to necessarily play it on a stream, but like just to play it because it's done by a guy. Oh, I'm gonna find this fucking thing because all indie developers vanity search. I don't know if you know this, but if you've ever played like, particularly if it's a niche indie game, and you type, "Oh, I've just played the Norwood Suite," I think it was bloody mental, which is what my exact tweet was, give or take. And the guy who made it was just like, "Yep, I like that one. I favourite that one." It's like, yeah, you all vanity search, don't you? Every single one of you. Just looking, they've got it all keyed up. We're looking for keywords. So there we go, Norwood Suite, bang, get it
Get it in an RSS feed.
But as like niche, bloody weird games go, I'd say Norwood Suite is probably one of the poster boys.
So what is the Norwood Suite then? Because
I'm looking forward to Naz trying to explain this.
I think I can. Oh, you bastard.
Well, it's all well and good saying that you paid it without and then not being able to explain what
Cosmo
it
D.
is.
Cosmo D's in the thing. Right, so the Norwood Suite, where to begin? So it's a walking simulator. That will tell you what type of game it is.
Sure.
Sure. That's a good start. It's about a guy, or more importantly, about his hotel, I guess, called Norwood. I forget his full name, but it doesn't really matter in the grand context of things.
Peter Norwood. Just 'cause
Peter Norwood. Thank
'cause
you.
I'm also like looking at a sort of synopsis
Oh, you're looking at
as
it.
well.
Oh,
Yeah,
brilliant.
but you've got to explain for the. You gotta explain.
Oh, I'm absolutely going to explain.
Can you read the synopsis after though? Naz has explained. It'd be interested to see what the
Yeah, I
game
can
like
do.
describes itself as after Naz has described it.
Yeah.
Oh, I can absolutely see me going just like right off the beaten track with it. So, Peter Norwood has a hotel, and Peter Norwood is a famous musicianist.
A musicianist.
A musicianist. A magic maker of music, if you will. Just likes all the good music. And you have to get into like this hip hop happening party that's like kicking off down the bottom because you've got a CD to give them from a woman. I forget her name as well. The problem is because it's such a visually attracting game, like you forget a lot of like the little details, like names, for instance, and
I must
various
admit, like I'm
characters.
looking at the screenshots, it is very striking.
Yeah, it's what one might call artsy wanky game.
Oh fuck yeah!
So
yeah.
I loved it, obviously, because I just dig on that. So you got to get a CD.
God is how I would describe it.
So you've got to get this CD to this DJ, and the way you have to do that is you need to get into the hip hop happening party that's happening in the Norwood Suite.
Pop pop.
And in order to get into that party, you need to do a lot of stuff for people around the hotel to get a costume to go in there, which I won't reveal what the costume is because that's part of the fun of it. But it's a very visually striking game. It's very visually striking. It's very hourly striking as well. Like it makes a lot of really interesting use of music.
I'd hope a game about a musician did actually have a good well, not a good soundtrack, but at least like good audio cues and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. It is that. Like even when you come in, there's like
kind of like Breath of the Wild, where it's not really music, but it's like
it's more like your ears are drawn
soundscape
to
or whatever.
objects and stuff.
yeah, that's a good word. Yeah.
So like you are walking in, for instance, and like there are these giant faces carved into like the mountain that you're traveling up to get to the hotel,
Yeah, I can
and
see
they'll
that.
open their mouths and there's like a whoa thing going on with each of them.
How's it go?
Yeah.
How's it go?
God, there
Whoa.
So if we all hold a pitch, we can all harmonise.
Oh. Something like that.
Anyway,
So that's obviously one example of that. There's lots of other little cues and stuff, and lots of like mad stuff you got to do for people when you get up there. Like you have to register online to get your room, so you have to go to the computer, but the computer's not hooked up to the internet, and you got to go find the route and all sorts of stuff. It's like I say, it's less about where you end up at the end, but more about the journey and stuff that gets there. That's not to say the ending isn't good or weird or anything like that, because a whole lot of it's fucking weird. But it's yeah, it's an amazing kind of like experience.
How long did it take to make that sandwich?
Let's not talk about how long it took me to make the sandwich.
so I'd like to point out that, like, on this synopsis,
Oh no! Josh, you cut out. You cut out.
Josh.
Josh is cut
on
out.
this synopsis
There
thing
we
I'm
go.
looking at, it's got like those, you know, like you get like the quick view of kind of like when it was released and its rating stuff. One of the very first tag for the game, like, so the other ones are like, as you'd expect, you know, exploration, first person, simulator, walking simulator, surreal. The very first tag on it is David Lynch. And if that doesn't tell you anything that you need to know about the game, then
Yes, it's a lot more about the visual.
put your tongue back in your mouth, Naz.
Sorry, I'm chewing on gum. About the visuality and the sound type experience of it. It's more about what hits you rather than what happens.
Sorry for making a racket, guys. I'm just trying to move, cut out as much.
That's fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, I recommend it. Again, I do. But it's not gonna be for everybody at all. Like you have to kind of appreciate the fact that it's not really a game that's gonna take you anywhere. It's something you just have to sort of absorb and look at. Again, a lot like art. It's of your own interpretation of what you see. There's no like super overt story. There are elements of story.
Has it got the JRPG thing where it's like, don't try to understand it, you just need to like accept it, kind of let it do its own thing? Is that
kind of?
Because that was how Rob explained JRPGs to me before. He was just like, don't try to understand, just sort of let it happen.
Yeah, it is sort of like that. It's kind of like that. It's again, it's such a weird experience, and I use the word experience rather than game.
Yeah,
it's something that I've not necessarily played, but I've experienced, and like it sat with me, and I'm thinking a lot about it, and like what the themes of it were and stuff like that, and you know the mise en scène and the setup of pieces, and like you get to see like almost like you take shortcuts sometimes, and it's almost like you're time traveling. Like you get to see aspects of Norwood and like what he was like as an individual. It's a lot. It's up to your own interpretation of your own mind, what you make of these images and stuff that you see. Like I say, it's just one of those things that you experience, and then you make your own interpretation in your mind of what exactly that meant to you.
So in essence, it's really close to game. You know, if you like games like Dear Esther, Gone Home, something about the Rapture, whatever it's called.
Yeah,
If you like that, but with a huge fucking punch in the dick of artsy art house Andy Warhol stuff, then this is probably up your alley.
Would you like me to read the synopsis?
If you could.
Yeah. So, the Norwood Suite is the sequel, both spiritual and direct, to the Cosmo D's previous game, Off Peak. In 1983, Peter Norwood, one of the world's most famous internationally celebrated pianists and composers, mysteriously vanished. His private mansion was turned into the Hotel Norwood, which over the years accumulated its share of notoriety. But the mystery of what really went on in the Norwood's time never really got uncovered until now. The Norwood Suite is a first-person action game that takes players to the secluded Hotel Norwood on a simple, friendly errand that quickly unfolds into something much more involved. Filled with bizarre characters and curiosities, this mysterious resort is a dense, open-ended world teeming with hidden passages and secrets to discover. Peer into the lives of the hotel guests and staff, explore and interact with surprises behind every door, and piece together a jigsaw narrative that rewards your curiosity. The Norwood Suite features surreal art design, as well as an original atmospheric musical score composed by Cosmo D that integrates itself directly into the game world. There you go.
That's a long-ass description.
Yeah,
That's half a game.
It's 3 paragraphs. It's 3 paragraphs. But yeah, I mean, I'm surprised actually because I thought it was a new game, but it was released May 6th, 2017, apparently.
Yeah. If you're interested in playing that but don't want to pay, I do recommend Off Peak, that Josh just mentioned. It's free to play. It's again by the same guy. It's I think it's about being like in a train station or something like that, or like a train terminal.
Yeah,
And
you're stranded in the train station
yeah,
in the near
you get to
future.
explore that, and that's again you get the same kind of like interestingness that you do, the same kind of like experience, but like touching on different themes and stuff like that. Like I do recommend Cosmo D's work.
Yeah,
Really
the art style and that's also.
Have they only made 2 games, Cosmo D?
Yeah, he has. I think I can double check. Yeah, yep.
Yeah, so
Just Off Peak and Norwood.
probably
Like,
something to watch out for then, I guess, if you're, interested in games as art and something a little bit different.
awesome. So, Rob, what have you been playing?
Yes. Okay. So this month. Well, I finished Uncharted 4 finally,
Yep.
and kind of glad it's done. It was a nice resolution I felt to the story. So yeah, I mean, I think like I've said previously, it still suffers from the same shit that the previous 3 games suffered from, sort of dodge mechanics a little bit, and
Yeah,
It's got Uncharted syndrome.
yeah.
I tapped out of 3, and I'm kind of glad I did. Like nothing against the series or anything like that. I just felt done by that.
Yeah, so that's done. Again, we sort of briefly touched on Brigitte as the new Overwatch character, but I honestly think she's fucking amazing. She's so fun to play, really good character. Definitely becoming one of my faves, and her character model is awesome.
Yeah, I didn't click with her for a while, and then I had a game with her or like for the other night, and then it's just like, oh, okay, I understand you a bit better now. Like you're not hanging back, because a friend of mine was playing as well, and he started playing with her, and it's like, why are you hanging back so much trying to shield? Like that shield ain't gonna last long. It's like 600.
Yeah, it's 600 points.
Like it's not. It's all it is there just to buy you like a second or two, so your abilities can come back up and you can get back.
Her
in swinging.
survivability, though, to be fair, is actually crazy. Like I didn't.
Yep.
She'd be, but she.
But you
really
got to be
is.
aggressive with her, otherwise it's no point.
Yeah.
You got to be aggressive, otherwise you don't get that done.
Yeah, but like the ability to like say, if you're in loads of trouble, if say like a roadhog like runs at you, he doesn't have his hook, he like runs at you, you can like boop him back with your flail.
Yep.
Hit your shield up and then just dash away and use your dash as the actual like dash away rather than like the stun.
You can stop his charge if you shield bash him at the right time.
Yeah, I've heard that one being done.
It's I mean,
really
you fly up in the air, but obviously you could like just fly up and
Oh, do you
fly.
mean Reinhardt? Like
Yeah, Reinhardt. Yeah.
I meant in terms of like if you've got a road somebody with a shotgun.
Oh, sorry, you said Roadhog. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, somebody that you don't want like a close range, like a Roadhog or a Reaper. If you flail them, and then like you can use your like shield to get away.
No, but no, you can cancel a Roadhog
like,
with it with a shield bash.
You can because it's a stun. It cancels all ults. If
Yeah.
you hit somebody with it, like I think basically the only person you probably can't counter is Doomfist because he
I love Doomy.
disappears, doesn't he? Like he like I suppose if you caught him as he was about to like zip up in that very first like when he first like
but there's a lot of people.
Yeah, but if you're doing it right next to her, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people you can just stun out of their supers or anything that they're doing, which is great if it's timed correctly. But yeah, no, I think she's fucking brilliant. I think Blizzard have been killing it with the last 2 heroes that they've added into the game. Like Moira is one of my faves. Brigitte, one of my faves now. Just absolutely fantastic characters.
Both supports, man.
Exactly,
Both.
yeah. I'm fucking loving support at the moment. Absolutely loving it.
Like, I can't wait for the next offensive one they do.
They need another defensive hero. They
Yeah.
haven't added a new defensive hero.
They have Orisa. Is Orisa?
Orisa's a tank.
No, they've added a new defensive.
No. Because it's still McCree, May. Not still McCree. It's May.
I was gonna say McCree. You got
No.
mad.
It's because it's still like May, Junk. I can't even remember who the rest of the defensive heroes are.
Bring him
But
up.
like, there's not that many of them.
Yeah, it's quite a small. I think
There's
they're the
only 6 of
smallest
them.
group. I think they're the smallest group of characters.
That was why I was
Out of
really,
all
really
the
surprised when. That was why I was really surprised that she'd actually ended up being a support.
Mm.
Yeah, so it's Bastion, Hanzo, Junkrat, May, Torbjorn, and Widow.
Oh, they really haven't added.
So they
Not
haven't.
that when you think about it.
Hmm.
There's only. But there's
That'll be
only
the next one then. There you are.
Well, no, but I mean, I thought that before, but then they've added 2 supports. They've added. Well, actually, no. Out of all the new heroes, they've added 2 offense, 1 tank, 3 supports.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in fairness to
Honor,
the
Bridget,
defensive
and-
ones, they are quite effective at their jobs.
Oh
all of
yeah.
them. Like
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
they're due one. Don't get me wrong, but they're quite effective at their jobs.
Oh yeah. No, I'm not denying that. Like May is like I was.
You cut out there, Josh, buddy. Sorry.
I said I was ruining people on.
We'll
And
never
again,
know.
Oh, we never know. We'll never know what he's
We'll
saying.
never know.
Can you
Never
not hear
know.
me?
No, you just cut
Josh
out.
died on the way back to his home planet.
So I said I was ruining on May the other day.
You're good at playing May anyway.
Yeah, I'm
So,
alright, mate.
yeah.
I used to play lots of May.
Yeah. But yeah, so Brigitte, loving life as Brigitte.
Yeah, she's sick.
But as for
10 out of
like a new game that I picked up this month, last week or the week before, I started playing Gwent.
Cool.
Sort of really giving it a
Yeah.
proper go. And I really enjoyed it. I played it on stream and played it for an entire day's worth of stream, I think. So a good like solid 4 hours or so I was playing the game and really, really enjoyed it. It's a lot different to how Gwent plays in the Witcher 3 game, which obviously they had to do to
But
make
it has to be balanced, hasn't it?
exactly to make it a
It's gotta be.
standalone. But it started off funny enough, possibly a nice segue. But I started watching the Gwent Open the weekend before, and I was just like, I'm just going to give this game a go. So but no, absolutely really enjoyed my time with it. There's a lot to do in the game now. It's not as straightforward as Gwent 3 was in The Witcher 3, or as Gwent was in The Witcher 3, where it's sort of just
I was about to say,
fairly simple.
I thought Gwent was the only came out in The Witcher 3.
It did, yeah. Yeah, so it was, it's a fairly standard card game that's just fun to play. It has got its strategy and its elements to it, but obviously like I said, they've opened it up a lot more. You've got cards that can attack other cards now. There's different
I was
combos
about to say,
and
'cause
stuff.
I remember that being not being a thing, as it were, in
Yeah.
because I remember saying to you, like when I was trying to watch it at work. To be fair,
Yeah.
like saying, I didn't think that you could do that. Like I thought it was all about like in Witcher 3, it's all about just like stacking your numbers right, isn't it, to like win rows?
Yeah,
not,
essentially, all it is in Gwent in The Witcher 3 is just like outscoring your opponent, essentially, doing everything you can to have more points than them. You've got a few cards that sort of destroy other cards or drain other cards, like the weather effects and that sort of thing. But that's a sort of about it as you get for like offensive cards in Gwent in The Witcher 3. But obviously now you've got cards that in standalone Gwent that damage other cards and do all sorts of stuff. And it's real fun.
cool.
So yeah, looking forward to playing more of that. I'm trying to play it for free as much as possible, because obviously, like most card games, it's got microtransactions and that sort of thing, card packs that you can buy and stuff. So I'm gonna see how far I can go without feeling the need to pay for it as much as possible. But you get challenges where you earn in-game currency. Yeah. which you can use to purchase card packs and stuff. But so yeah, I mean, it'd be interesting to see how far I can play the game while still having a decent run of it and enjoying myself without paying any money towards it.
I mean, Hearthstone does that, where it does like the daily challenges.
Yeah.
Coins, so you can buy packs of the coins, or
Yeah.
like you just get like a free pack or whatever if you do. So I mean, I suppose it's sustainable, but you probably just need to play like quite a lot of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then that being said, I suppose you're not really aiming to play it like competitively. Do you know what I mean? Like you just want to play.
Yeah, I just want to play for fun. So, I mean, if I get to a stage where I've got a decent deck together, and I might see how it goes. Play a bit of competitive, see how I fare. There is a deck I would like to build, which is a Skelligan deck, which is a sort of a bear deck, essentially, where basically you spawn people who spawn bears, and it's just bears upon bears upon bears until you win. So
guess what I'm playing, Rob?
Are you playing Gwen, Josh?
I have actually downloaded it. But like now you've said that.
Yeah, no, like look up the Skelligan bear deck. It's like a legit.
I'm playing fucking bears.
Yeah,
that's it. I was just thinking. I was like, I wonder what deck I'll fancy. Like, Skelligan looked fun, and like Monsters looks pretty dope. But now you said Skelligan bears. That's it.
Yeah, that's it. Sold.
That's it.
Sold.
Done.
It's because I saw it being played in the Gwent Open, and I was like, that looks fun. Because you just like you bring on like bear masters or whatever, which are like 2 points or something, and then they spawn a bear, which are like 9 or something. So it's just here, have a bear.
Oh, God.
It's great. So yeah, but I've sort of seen myself favouring the Skelligan deck. And monsters are real fun to play. Basically, it's sort of spawn as many monsters as you can, and when you bring this monster in, like monster tokens appear, and that sort of thing. So it's just sort of overwhelming them, and they can consume other monsters to be more powerful and all that sort of thing. And also the Square Tell seem quite fun at the moment as well. But
I'd also like to point out, sorry, just because I'm looking at
go for it.
Is that on the Gwent, like if you just go to the Gwent website, download the Gwent client.
Yeah.
If you subscribe to their newsletter, you get a free card keg, which I assume is a pack.
It is, yeah.
And also a free copy of the Witcher Enhanced Edition. So if you don't have the first Witcher game, which I know you do, Rob, but I mean, if somebody else doesn't have it, there's a good way to get the Witcher without paying for it.
And the Witcher one is an old game. You've got to be patient with it, but it is a very good game. If you want to play for like a really good story, good game, that's it. If you can deal with
the Witcher made his appearance back on here.
I don't know what you mean, Naz.
Sure you don't.
I mean, that's pretty cool. Like, I'm certainly gonna like. There you go. There you go. The Witcher Enhanced Edition is now on my thing.
There you go.
Very nice.
Yeah.
All for free.
I mean, it's got a bit of a dodgy combat system, but like, it's cool.
Worth it for a go, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, at least you'll be eventually. In fairness, you'll be playing it with a mouse. I played it with a Mac trackpad. Like,
I mean, to be fair, like if I can get it with a work.
Oh no, he cut out.
I'll probably be playing it with a controller if I can get it to work. I worked out a way, by the way, to get my Pro controller working PC. So that's good, because for some reason, like my PlayStation controllers have stopped connecting to the PC. But I've managed to get my Switch controller working, which is handy.
Oh, cool.
Good.
Cool.
But yeah.
So is that the summing up of the what we played part?
Yeah,
then?
pretty much. To be honest, there's nothing else that I can think of that I've actually played. So yeah. So yes.
Cool.
So that is, I suppose, the end of the first half of the show, where we've discussed what we talk about. Are we going to take a quick little break? Do we think, or?
I'm good to go.
I mean, unless as I say, I'm fine if.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay, then. Well, let's crack on with the second half of the show. So, obviously, this is the part of the show where we discuss games that we have. No, hang on, we've done that bit. We discuss the news. Sorry,
all of it took.
We discussed games we played. Now we're going to discuss today's main news topic.
Can I just mention a thing?
Of course,
before we
Naz.
do anything
Go for
else?
it.
So we were struggling a little bit for a topic this month.
Yes.
And one of the things I suggested was, Sea of Thieves is out this week, last week. Why don't we wait and see what happens with that, and maybe we'll get something out of that?
I think we have.
So we kind of did, actually, and I've seen one today as well. So I'm just going to mention this very briefly before we get onto our main thing, but I've just spotted something. I just think it's really fun and really sums up just how well I know the industry sometimes. So in Sea of Thieves, the way you respawn into the game is that you're on a ghost ship for a couple of seconds after you die, and then you come back in.
Yeah.
Which is barely anything. Would anybody like to take a guess what they are or they were proposing for the respawn system?
There was some sort of respawn penalty, but I didn't see what it was.
It was going to be take away your money. They
Yeah.
were going to take away a bit of your money, and depending on how you died, they were going to take a bit more if it was, I don't know, like a kraken that killed you. And people got pissed off. Just like expected.
I mean, are people just pissed off at that, or pissed? I mean, if
I presume
there's
the money
more to be
isn't
pissed off
real
about
money.
at Sea of Thieves than just that.
Oh no, it's their in-game currency, but they
So if it's
really
in-game
didn't want
currency,
that.
if it's in-game currency, like I don't really see anything wrong with that.
Nah.
Like that, because like when you when you used to die in WoW, it used to like ruin your equipment and I'm sure drop some of your gold as well. Or like I've certainly played loads of games where you lose gold. As when you die, like
I don't know how much gold they're talking, and I also they don't really specify anything about it. It's just whatever.
It's probably going to be like a
They've not
10%,
10%,
or something. I don't know.
Who knows? Like at this point, because it's not going to happen. Like,
I mean, here's the thing with Sea of Thieves, right? So it's come out. This game has been in development for ages. It's been hugely hyped, hugely anticipated. It's arguably Microsoft's last chance to actually do something this generation that isn't just rehashing.
You're discounting them quick.
Their old games.
Calm down.
Well, no, it's true though. Like, let's be honest. As much as I didn't want Microsoft to fail, they have this generation. The only decent thing they've done, because they've had no fucking exclusive that have been worth note this gen. Fable died on its fucking arse. They cancelled Scalebound. Gears 4 was okay. Halo 5 again, okay. And they've had nothing else. Everything's been cancelled or just not happened. The only thing they've done decently, and it's a shame, is have that backwards compatibility, which has been fantastic. But they've just been relying on previous games they've made. So Sea of Thieves has had a lot of hype behind it. And as a game that's come out that's basically a Destiny-style game, it's come out pretty much similar to Destiny with fuck all content. There's like no content in Sea of Thieves. And also, there's like no fucking booty. There's no loot. You've got a pirate game with no fucking loot. There's fucking nothing. You do missions and get money for it, which you then spend on in-game cosmetics to make your character look better. And that's it. And when we're talking about punishments in games when you die, currently as it stands, there's no penalty for when you get killed. And they're looking at taking away some of your money, like Naz said, which I don't think is inherently a bad thing, because at the moment there's fucking no penalty and there's no risk reward for anything you're doing in Sea of Thieves at the moment at all. Aside from the fact that you start off with just a big ship and then you just go about, you get all your tools given to you off on the get-go. Like there's no progression. It's not like you start off with a small ship and then if you lose it or it gets sunk, that's it. Your ship's gone. You have to buy a new one, or maybe, do you know what I mean? There's like fuck all in terms of content, unless you play with your friends, but then you're just making your own fun in a world that has got only so much to do in it.
Yeah, I know next to nothing about Sea of Thieves, but I mean, I did actually read an article, and it was just because the headline kind of which said that like Sea of Thieves is a game which like you play quite similarly to almost like a tabletop game where like you kind of, the guy's character he decided was, like he was like the ship master or whatever. So like, he was really like bilging the water out of the ship and looking after the hull. You know what I mean? And like that was kind of making his own fun, as you say. But like he kind of adapted that role, and that was like the role that he took on. And I thought that was quite interesting. But having it described as you guys did then as a sort of like a looter not a looter shooter, but a game that's kind of predicated around like get stuff to make, to get better stuff to get better stuff.
Yeah.
That kind of doesn't, if it kind of been like almost like a No Man's Sky and it was like an exploration game.
Yeah.
Like that might have worked, but like...
Well, I mean, it's been described as No Man's Sky in terms of how much that game was a disappointment and how this game is also being looked at as a bit of like, well, what's all this? Especially when there's been other pirate games that have been arguably a lot better, like Sid Meier's Pirates has been referred to a lot or compared to with this a lot. Even
Isn't Sid Meier's correct me if I'm wrong, isn't that a strategy game though?
It is.
Yeah, I was about to say.
It's top-down strategy.
Very old strategy game.
But in terms of pirate games and what pirate games bring to the table, like, this is missing a lot of obvious shit.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping
I didn't want it to be a massive thing. I just wanted it to be like a little thing.
Yeah.
Just thought it was interesting. And that I was right. That's the important takeaway. I am always right.
Trust in the NAS.
Know my shit. Right. Should we get into it?
Yeah, okay. So, that's I suppose one news topic. Sea of Thieves came out and it's
killed
a
enough time that we
disappointment.
don't have to worry too much about this one.
Needs more content. Sort yourself out, Microsoft. So...
And Destiny. You fucking have a go at Destiny as well.
I do have a go at Destiny. Fuck me. What a shit game that turned out to be. My goodness. Anyway, right. So, ladies and gentlemen, the next news topic of the day is... again, Naz, I'll just hand it over to you because it's just easier this way.
Oh, is it easy?
Take it away, Naz.
Oh, bomb me underneath the old bus there.
The bringer of bad news.
I got some bad news for you.
It's all right. At the end of the show, Josh will be dancing in his pants, so it's all good. Quality content here.
One.
Right, no, but legit, spoiler alert, I'm not wearing any.
Oh, goddamn.
Banger. Absolute banger.
And I'm pretty sure that does, in fact...
I'm pretty sure it does a little bit.
That being said, it is your channel.
Don't you dare stand up.
So I've got tracky. I've got a pajama bottom.
Oh, that's fine, surely. Is he dead?
No, Naz, carry on. That's...
Is that my cue?
It was your cue.
Right. So, I don't know if anybody's been watching the Overwatch League, but
yeah,
Queen. It's pretty good.
I love it.
People be genuinely really, really excellent at.
Yeah, big up the home team, London Spitfire, who are entirely South Korean. No. The whole team are from South Korea. Not a single English person in that team.
Brexit.
Not even mad about it. They are
Calm down.
No, but I'm just saying, like they gave this whole thing of like, we're gonna have your local teams, your country is gonna be represented, and no, there's no home glory. It's like fucking England going to the World Cup and it's just full of Americans. It's like, well, no, they're not.
See, I'd like to point out that like it's Overwatch League is more like the Premier League than it is the World Cup.
Clearly.
But in the World Cup, I don't know if it was, I can't remember if it was Overwatch or Magic. England entered a team into like one of the World Cups, like for like a game, and like there was like an Italian, like a Spanish dude, and basically nobody was from England. So.
But here's the you're trying your best to have like countries or cities represented. Like you've got London Spitfire. Why not just call them fucking Spitfire instead of London Spitfire? You've got God knows what else around the world as well, like the Shanghai something or other. Yeah, why bother if none of the people on that team are from that country or from that city? In
all fairness, I think London Spitfire is the exception to the rule. Like I know that
silly. It's silly. It's just silly in my opinion.
San Francisco Shock are like mostly American. I think. I think actually all of San Francisco Shock are American. LA Valiant, I think, are all American as well. So I mean, I think London Spitfire is
good.
But yeah, London Spitfire.
Sorry, I completely cut you off now. I'm really sorry.
That absolute fucking Brexit of a turn there. Jesus Christ, we went full hard Brexit there. That was bad.
I'm just saying it's stupid.
All right, Trump. Jesus.
Oh my!
Should we build a wall and keep them out?
All right, blue passport.
Gonna make them pay for it.
Make them.
Gonna build a wall and make Blizzard pay for it.
So, yes. So Overwatch League, very, very good, very, very entertaining. It's been said for a long time that they wanted to have the code of conduct released. So I've been asking. It's been leaked now. We've got to see like exactly what kind of pressures, restrictions, and all kinds of rules and regulations are put on these players, and is extensive. My God, it's like Bible, really. It's just
okay. Lay it on us, Naz.
Oh wow! I mean,
what does the Holy Gospel say?
The Holy Gospel, according to Blizzard Incorporated, Activision Blizzard. Yeah. For instance, here is their Twitch policy.
Mm-hmm.
In no event may any streaming include any video game content, actions, comments, language, or other material that could be expected to bring any player, the league, any of its team, any direct or indirect owner of any team, any executive or other employee of the league, Activision Blizzard, or any of its games, products, and services, or any broadcaster, distributor, sponsor, licensee, or other business partner of the league of its teams into disrepute. That's a whole sentence with no full stop, for instance.
Oh, wow. So
that's just commas and commas and commas. So essentially what that means is that they really can't stream anything. Like, and particularly if they do try and stream anything, they can't say anything bad, if anything at all, really. It's probably best that they are seen and not heard by the looks of that particular ruling. Let's see if I can find another bit. The problem is I'm trying to skim an article here.
So hang on, they can't stream their own content, for example.
No, they can't do any of that. Everything they do from now on belongs to the Overwatch League, and they can't stream other games.
If I became a Overwatch esports player,
oh, you'd have to become Korean first, wouldn't you, Rob?
Well, clearly. But would I?
Don't you, mate?
For fuck's sake, that.
Done you? He just done you.
Done you? Absolutely done you. Carry on.
So basically, if I became Korean and an esports Overwatch competitor, I would have to stop doing everything I do on my channel.
You probably couldn't have a channel, really.
No, so I think
okay, that's what I was just
clarifying.
Clarifying.
Because Seagull, who is
Korean,
he was American. He was one of the best Genji players in the world. I don't know if he's still on a team. I think he might be on a roster somewhere. But like he does his own stuff. Like, and I think.
I mean, you say you're not streaming Overwatch content. We know that much. You wouldn't be allowed to if you were doing that.
I don't think he is anymore. But I think like if you're playing, I think if you're playing Overwatch under the name, let's just use him again for an example, Seagull, then I think you've kind of got to be careful what you're saying. Like that, what Naz has actually just said is relatively standard form.
Yeah.
Like that. What Naz has just said to me there is fairly unsurprising.
Yeah.
Like,
agreed.
I don't really think it's. I think before Blizzard actually, I think if you like slip the F word on like one of your own streams, they're not going to come down on you probably. But I mean, if you're using like a homosexual or like racial slurs, for example, then obviously Twitch are going to come down on you, but Blizzard are going to come down on you.
We've lost Naz's video.
and rightly so.
It's fine. It's just got a bit too lally for a second.
Yeah, because essentially you're an employee of Activision Blizzard at this point.
Yeah, basically.
That's it. You are representing the company and everything they stand for, including their shitty microtransactions and everything like that. But you are representing them as a brand and as a company. So yeah, if you're going to shitmouth them or say, oh, this Overwatch League is shit or this game's crap, then obviously, yeah, you're going to get fucking fired.
Yeah, like, and I mean, I'm seeing here like there's like a short form of the article that Naz read, which is, and it gives at the bottom like some sanctions that have actually happened to like players of the league. Where XQC, who plays for Dallas Fuel, he received a 4-game suspension and a $2,000 fine for like a homosexual slur. Spitfire Prophet, who plays for Spitfire, received a $1,000 fine for throwing up a middle finger on camera during a match.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound like a Londoner thing to do.
And before the league began, Philadelphia Fusion Sado was suspended from preseason and 30 matches of the regular for participating in an account boosting scheme. So, I mean, like, you know, that's basically they don't want you to be offensive. They don't want you to
do them.
Yeah, throw the bird in the middle of like one of their streams, which are watched by like hundreds of thousands of people.
Yeah,
and also like generally speaking, account boosting, fairly shady.
Yeah,
like,
pretty shady.
So, but like I think what you've said there, like it is all encompassing, but like they're not going to act on every word of it, and it's pretty standard form.
What about the whole idea that players are also unable to endorse, directly or indirectly, any non-Activision Blizzard games for playing or purchase, and if more than 2 Overwatch League members are playing together, they'll need permission from the league and their respective teams, as they will, quote, be deemed to be playing as a team.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
I think that might be to stop. I've got a feeling, because like generally speaking, lots of players come from different games before they settle on one.
Yeah.
So like there's people in the Overwatch League that were like Counter-Strike Go players, there are Counter-Strike players that were Quake players, Call of Duty players, that kind of thing. So I think that probably the 2 or more in a team is possibly to stop them from giving up the game halfway through the season and then signing on with, you know, Counter-Strike's
league or whatever. Yeah, but yeah, I think as well it's a case of like these players like play 8 hours a day, right? Like that's what,
more than that, man.
Well, yeah, but this is it. This is
apart from the hour before the league game or whatever Activision Blizzard event, and then an hour afterwards. They're not allowed to do anything an hour before or after an event.
Okay, but it's a case of like bare bones minimum contractually. Probably they're meant to play like 8 hours a day, but they probably no doubt play more because it's also a game that they probably play in their spare time. So it's to keep them focused and not distracted and just to get on with the game. It's shitty, I think, still.
Basically a shitty sports contract.
Well, yeah, exactly. But at the end of the day, esports is still really young in its inception. And it's going to make a lot of mistakes before it actually really respects its players and employees correctly.
You'll learn from the mistake. I think they just do the sports thing and just that'll be it. And we're going to see lots of stories about people getting massive burnout. I mean, there's already one about New York Excelsior's Pine, who was just completely burnt out and stressed and depressed from doing Overwatch League.
Yeah.
Like he was absent for like the second quarter of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I believe.
Yeah, second.
And he's recently tried, just said, I just can't.
He was out for like most of the second leg, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He's back now, I think, now, isn't he?
Possibly, yeah.
I think so.
But yeah, what's the next on the old agenda, Naz?
Have I got an agenda?
Or the contract rather?
I'm trying to find like little bits of it.
So the TLDR is to compete to the best of their skill and ability at all times, which I don't think is unreasonable. But
I think that's to be expected of any team, regardless of esports or not. Additionally, Blizzard Group, along with their representatives and affiliates, have a quote perpetual royalty-free, fully paid-up, worldwide right and license to data pertaining to the player's names, nicknames, battle tag, likenesses, photo, images, voice, public persona, bio, backstory, and more, with a subsection of the document stating that the players who sign are subject to starring in reality shows. 24/7 cameras can even be placed inside the team house, training facility, and other locations frequented by the team. All right.
That's
The only sanctuary given is that there's the bathroom, obviously, but like
that's because of merchandising, and also like when they come, like the finals at like BlizzCon, they'll do
I
like
get why.
they'll do
I
like team
think
houses
it's
and stuff.
massive invasion of private, more so than like sports teams, because that's like 24-hour fucking access to your life. Like
Also,
I get exhausted streaming for 3 hours.
Also, like let's just briefly discuss the ownership of their name, gamertag, everything like that. So basically, I mean, unlike normal sports, like fucking I don't know, David Beckham. You can tell I don't watch football. David Beckham is David Beckham, right? And he was contracted with Man U, yeah. But then when he moved, he still is David Beckham, but playing for whoever it was he played for after, Real Madrid afterwards. Do you know what I mean?
Take a more recent example of that, maybe like Cristiano Ronaldo, who has his own brands and stuff like that. What he's with Real Madrid,
sure.
Like he's got the CR7 stuff and a load of stuff like that. And there's a few players out there in Madrid. I think Bale's one of them as well. He's got their own.
I bet if you got a CS:GO contract though, or insert like large esport here, you'd find the same clause.
Oh, probably, yeah.
Because the
maybe
the
not
name,
the 24/7 camera thing.
Yeah, maybe not. But like things
invasive.
like the name, the persona, is all for merchandising.
Yeah.
So like you'd have like a London Spitfire jersey that has profit on the back.
Yeah.
Or,
but
do you know what I mean?
My question is though, if you were to leave the league and leave the team and leave the game, say you had enough of Overwatch, say if you were interested in going back to CS:GO or whatever, would you then have to change your name and your persona?
No, I mean you probably take that name back with you. But I think they have
the battle tag. I think they might.
If you had a battle tag, battle tags are exclusive to Blizzard.
Yeah.
So I mean, and I'd imagine if you went from Overwatch to like Hearthstone, or you went into like competitive like PvP in World of Warcraft, like that probably just carries with you anyway.
But what if you like want to take the stats you've built up because you've been playing that over, and like that gamer tag, battle tag would have been used probably before Overwatch started. I mean, are they getting exclusive battle tags?
They do, I think you find. They do have like team accounts, I suppose. Because like when they play on team, like when they play, like there's obviously certain provisions that are allowed in the game, like they do like game pauses and stuff. So I think they've got like a personal account and their like Spitfire account. But bear in mind, because you can have because of the way that battle tags work, there's like my battle tag is the first part of my battle tag is Singularity, but there's probably more than one person with the battle tag of Singularity because it's the dash. Number after it. It's the unique bit. So I'd imagine that like Seagull has his like his own Twitch BNet, and then he probably multi-boxes and
Seagull's
has
getting
like
a bloody big shout out on this. Are we allowed to shout him out? Is that fine?
Well, you can have whoever you like.
We're gonna get done.
Pick a player.
Is he gonna come for us in the night?
Nah, probably not. I don't. We're giving Overwatch League like reasonable press here. We're not shitting on them. Totally.
I am a bit. I think it's bullshit contract, mate. I think it's absolute dirty bullshit. But there we go. That's me.
So what's next on the contract then? That's
like I said, I'm just picking pieces apart. So like it's not in any order or anything like that. I think probably cleaned from it like the most pertinent bits of it. As has been said, it's like pretty much, as Josh probably says, your standard kind of contract, just a bit more invasive again.
I think like one of the things that I find quite interesting, it's fairly standard, but I'd be interesting to see how it does get applied sometimes. Where it says not to make any false, defamatory, libellous, or slanderous remarks, comments, or statements. So, like, it'd be really, really interesting to see how if, for example, they were on their own personal account, and obviously because they do represent Blizzard, so Blizzard probably is, people are watching and sort of reporting back to Blizzard if they say or do something that's dodgy. I'd be really, really interested to see that if a match had a bad match and then kind of like said something that was probably a bit off key, or was just like, that Roadhog was like the shit or whatever. I'd be interested to see if like how serious you have to make a remark for them to actually jump on it, because that does it scope false, defamatory, libellous, slanderous comments or statements. So you could talk shit on a teammate or talk shit on somebody else a little bit and you get in trouble, even if it's not that bad. I'd be kind of interested to see like how much
how severely they deal with a situation like that. In the context. Yeah, I'd wonder if they'd look at the context of the situation, and then deal with it, or depending on how severely they deem it.
Or even if they've got like a no shit policy where we're only joking, but like can't have it. Be interesting to see. I think Naz is still scouring for.
No, I'm kind of just checking through Chris's comments on the whole subject. Really, it's like it is like he was saying to us. It's just the standard player ownership culture that's been around since baseball's been a thing.
Yeah,
like it's not my ideal way of seeing people make a living, if I'm honest. It's a bit. I don't want to use the word slavery, but it's not exactly freeing being under those contracts and being under those restrictions to have that.
It boils down to you play our game, so we own you.
Yeah,
and you're going to play. And you're going to play our game.
Record labels and sports franchises.
I think anything creative or sporty is similar in that sense. It's like one of my previous contracts for work. I was only allowed to stick with that job. I couldn't look for other work or have other work alongside that current job.
I say also you have a whole bullshitty thing for when you were doing YouTube. Wasn't that a thing?
What do you mean, Naz?
You at one point you were with a YouTube group.
Oh,
like that. I remember you doing a video about it.
Oh my goodness, what are they called? Yeah, Broadband TV. It was Broadband TV. They're a network.
Yeah,
YouTube
something
network.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's.
What about them?
I don't know. It's just some bullshit things I remember happening with you with that. If I remember correctly.
Hugely, yeah. Essentially, it was a case of we own you, but we're not going to help you out do anything. Essentially, I was under contract with them in what were sold to me as benefits for being part of the network is that they would help support and help grow my channel, and give me opportunities essentially to further my career, and they did none of that. They started off being extremely helpful, really on it with everything before I signed the contract, really responding to emails, being really helpful, being really friendly. And then as soon as I signed the contract, there was little to no information from them. And the bullshit information I did receive was just your run-of-the-mill standard shit, which is already on fucking YouTube guidelines. And I had a few issues with copyright claims and stuff like that, because at the time that was becoming a bullshit thing on YouTube, and obviously doing let's plays and stuff like that, having a gaming channel, you run into a lot of that sort of thing, and essentially I sort of went to them for help, and they said, nah, you got this on your own, we don't need to, we're not going to step in, we're good.
Oh, you're happy to take a cut of your stuff though.
And that's exactly what they did for years. They took a cut of my income from YouTube. And as soon as I'd said, stop, I want out, that's it, I'm done with the contract. They said, oh, we're really sorry, but your contract isn't due for renewal or anything for the next 3 months or whatever it was at the time.
Oh yeah,
So-
yeah, I remember that because you were like living at.
Sorry, now you.
See, it's
Oh,
on.
Josh, you just cut out. Sorry, buddy.
Sorry, yeah, it was you were living at mine at the time. I remember like, and you were just like getting really pissed off at it because like you were having a bit of a shit time anyway, and you're having to like sit on it waiting to try and get your fucking channel back, and it
Yeah.
was just like
Yeah,
one thing.
It was
after
bullshit.
another.
So I literally just I literally just like shut everything down. I like privatized everything so no one could view my content, and that was it.
Yeah. So,
they couldn't make
you know,
any
I
money.
said so that Overwatch Pro was suspended for making like a homophobic slur.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I've just got the details up just to see. And I mean, in all fairness, I'm surprised he got away with a 4-match ban and a £2,000 fine. So he was he plays for Dallas Fuel.
They're
And
naughty boys. A lot of them are naughty boys down the Dallas Fuel.
Yeah, well, Houston Outlaws swept them 4-0. And then apparently he dropped a line which is rolled and smoked, apparently, which is so he was kind of like using the guy's own catchphrase, kind of, you know, kind of taunting him a little bit.
Yeah.
And like the guy said, "You didn't smoke shit, suck your fucking mouth, go back there, suck a fat cock. I mean, you'd like it." The guy is openly gay, so I mean, like, I'm surprised he got away with, you know, 4 matches and £2,000. To be honest,
Yeah.
considering, like, that's pretty.
Atrocious.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Like, the guy apologized immediately, but all the same.
Well, no, it's in the heat like that where you see what people are really like. See the way they think. But that's not what we're talking about here today. We just talk about the role of esports and the growing necessity to, I don't know, look at it in different lights.
I think at the end of the day, like there's definitely still probably like, you know, areas of the and even of every esports that, especially the stuff that's probably behind closed doors that you don't see, which is probably not kosher, probably a little bit shady, a little bit not right. But at the same time, a lot of these people or these players, especially if that's what they want to do, they don't have much of a choice. Because there's nothing else available to them at the moment. That's the standard, and that's it. A lot of the creative industries, a lot of the sports industries, or, you know, anything like we're talking about here, are extremely you know, they're extremely vulnerable to be taken advantage of.
Well, yeah, it's playing video games for a living.
Yeah, and especially
who wouldn't want to do that?
Exactly, but especially young people as well, and especially people like at the start of their careers. Because let's be honest, like what's the age bracket of some of these players? You're probably looking at about 18 to 25, maybe.
They're older. I think the youngest player is, I think he's 17. The youngest.
Okay.
I think like, generally speaking, and I know it sounds really odd, but the like the lifespan of an esports player is actually fairly similar to like a normal professional athlete,
if not shorter, to be honest.
Yeah, if not shorter,
They burn out
because you lose
Yeah.
like reaction speed
Yeah.
like, quite quickly as you go up, and obviously that's a lot of it. So you know, I'd imagine like probably about 27, 28 at the top end, 17 at the low end. But like lots of the guys have already come from previous games as well. Like you tend to find that people who like play professional esports are professional esporters. Funnily enough, due to are good at games, are real good at games.
Yeah.
But, you know, like, just out of interest, do you two actually watch esports? Like, I mean, Naz's...
I do Overwatch League, and that's about it.
Yeah,
like, it's a game I like. I just can't. There's a lot. It's presented too much as sport, and I don't like to watch it for that reason.
Right.
Like, Overwatch League's got very good presentation and stuff. It's like, I think there was like, it used to be a white transition I didn't like in it once. I've taken that out since. A little bit evolving the way they show that and stuff, and like present it. It's a lot more appealing, but it still acts as sport. A lot of it still acts as sport, and I don't know. I think there's a better way to get these things across. But you know, I'm not the one with the answers. I'm just the one with the complaints.
Yeah, I must admit, I actually watch a surprising amount of esports. even games I don't really play. Like I've played Counter-Strike this week, but like I don't play. I think I've got like literally about 3 hours on record since I owned it, since it came out.
Yeah.
But I watch Counter-Strike like tournaments like quite often.
Yeah. See, I'm much more into watching speedrunners. I think that's something that's very uniquely video games, and the presentation of that's really good as well. Like they get splits and stuff like that, and then they're talking over the top of it, talking what through they're doing about it, talking about oh, we broke this game like this and stuff like that. Like when video games done quick comes around like twice a year, it's like, oh cool, that's a cool week of like watching speedrunners play games. It's wicked.
Yeah. I must admit, I never really got into speedruns purely because like they bypass so much of the game by like getting through like walls or kind of breaking barriers and stuff like that. Like I never really saw much appeal in it because speed running it, you're kind of just like clipping out here to sort of like appear here. Like
yeah, but there's a lot of skill in that. Like you got to play the game.
Oh yeah,
so
no,
much to
I
get to that
do.
point.
I know what you mean, but I find that particularly appealing. I've never really been watching and stuff particularly. So like esports appeals to me in a very different way because like about skill, and obviously it's a very different skill set. But like watching like people's crazy like reaction times and like their aim and just like stuff like that, especially watching that Counter-Strike, it's nuts. Like I find that much more like I suppose much more appealing.
Yeah,
I mean, I've only started to like very loosely get into esports, but that's simply because
I think it's like very exciting as well. Like there's like a lot of like atmosphere and with esport.
I mean, I've never there's never been many games that have been actually interesting me in esports. Like it's been League and Dota. I don't care for MOBAs at all. Hearthstone don't care for. Counter-Strike don't care for. But so it's only literally been Overwatch, a game I play and enjoy, that I've dipped in and out of every now and then, had to watch when the League is on if I can. I found it quite jarring to watch sometimes because it's so fucking fast. It's a bit busy.
Overwatch is quick though, isn't it?
Yeah, and Gwent as well. Again, very recently because it's a game that I'm interested in and have started playing. So it's it's it is what it is.
I'll tell you what always gets me with watching Overwatch League.
Yeah,
is like how they play the game. Like if you showed me like somebody from Overwatch League, like a team, start to finish in a match, and then showed me like random pugs on some dude's Twitch channel, they are like two totally different fucking games. They're like unbelievably different. I mean, like it's like I can see like the parts are there, but like nobody ever does that. Nobody ever does this. Like nobody ever like comps and never think to do. Like
they're just different metas when it's at that higher level. Like in the same way, like when you were playing Clash Royale on the phone, you go to another stat stages. There's a different meta. There's a different thing going on. It's the same with like professional play versus casual play. Professional play in a very, very different way than casual play does.
But I mean, even if you watch, say, like if you're playing like competitive, like like the competitive like lobby, and say like I mean I'm like gold ranked, so I'm like a fairly average player. But like if you get up into like diamond and platinum, they're still playing the same as they are at gold, just their reactions are better. And it's not until you get right to that top level that the game just like, so you do like the first like 6 tiers, and then all of a sudden the game just like changes. It's really weird. Like I always find that really fascinating. And it's the same Counter-Strike as well, I suppose. But
cool.
I think
yeah, so I mean, with regards to the main topic that we're talking about, esports and the contracts and that sort of thing, I think time will tell with stuff like that, and we'll see. Like I said, the industry is very young in its inception.
Well, they're making a lot of money from it.
Yeah, they are.
That's the thing I see the most from that.
Yeah.
Is that there's a lot of money that doesn't seem to be benefiting them or seems to be going to them. But I mean, I hope like t-shirt sales and stuff, they get like a cut at least.
Yeah, I'd hope they'd get a cut of
Jesus
merch,
Christ.
but we'll see. But hopefully it's something that, like I said, it's very young in its inception. That's not an excuse at all for for any of the shady practices or the advantage taking that may or may not be going on. But we'll see. We'll see where esports is in 5 years, in 10 years. You know, it's one of those things. And I think at the end of the day, because people are so young involved in esports, it's a case of, well, we'll see what happens to some of these players, what becomes of them when they are no longer players. Who knows, they might start their own leagues or be able to officiate some form of a union type thing. Do you know what I mean, where there are rights for esports athletes or players or whatever, however you want to phrase it, or, you know, there is a standard of contract which is allowed and isn't allowed and that sort of thing. So I mean, we'll see. I mean, hopefully that will be the case, because no one should be taken advantage of, regardless of what their job or occupation is or how they earn a living. So we can only hope things will, I suppose, get better.
Yeah, I mean, like, and also to further your point as well, shitty contract.
Yeah,
it wasn't gonna. It can only get better from here, because the company that made that contract is Activision Blizzard. Like, you know, just like the biggest fucking, you know, they're obviously going to cover their backs like to the nth degree and fuck everybody else.
Oh fuck yeah.
So, like, you know, it can only really get better from there, can't it? Surely.
It is
One
Activision,
can hope.
though.
So yes.
Are we done?
Shall we?
Yeah, if we're done with the topic, we can.
In a tear in my eye, I say
finish
it's
up.
Activision. And we move swiftly on.
So, with that, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of the live stream. Once again, we've had a nice sort of quick, short show, which has been pretty dandy.
Piffy, it's good.
We're good at
Yeah,
this.
damn straight.
90 minutes. We're getting this nailed.
Yeah, nailed. It's only taken us like 3 years. So, with that, that's the end of our news topic for this month. So I suppose we'll end up or finish up like we always do with a bit of shameless self-promotion. So, SingularityJosh, what are you? What do you do? And where can we find you? And what can we expect this month?
I am a human from planet Earth.
Nice to meet you.
Oh.
I am also a Twitch streamer. You can find me on twitch.tv/SingularityJosh. The same on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. I'm SingularityJosh on all of it. So come follow and come say hey. As for streams, we're doing more WoW. We're going to be doing like... I'm probably not going to do my Shadow Priest on stream, but we might carry on with my Shaman. We'll do some more Suramar quests on my Paladin. I've been wanting to get into like art and drawing, so I might do creative streams if I'm feeling it. I might do some Gwent, possibly with Rob if I smile at him nicely. Play a couple of games of that, and then other than that, Overwatch, and we'll sort of see where the road takes us. That's pretty much me.
Wonderful, thank you, Josh. And Naz, what do you do, and where can we find you, and what can we expect this month on your channels?
Well, I am Naz Dragonart. You can find me on Twitter at Naz_Dragonart. I also run the TalkPlay YouTube channel at youtube.com/C/talk_play. I believe that's right. I think you can get there without the C. Doesn't matter. But currently, I'm doing a lot of stuff on Twitch. By a lot of stuff, I mean I'm streaming once a week on a Wednesday, 8 till is it 8? Yeah, 8 to 11, sort of about that time. And that's at twitch.tv/talk_play. Currently got a Twitter poll going on. To choose between either playing a pony fighting game or a space roguelike game. So,
Oh my god, get on that poll.
I'm literally doing this right now.
yeah, I bought them both, so they'll both get streamed at some point. And hopefully there'll be possibly an additional stream introduced soon, but we'll see about that first.
See, I love a roguelike. I do really love a roguelike, but at the same time, pony fighting.
It's good.
It's...
Check the trailers out for both of them.
Nah, mate, I've just done it.
You won't be disappointed with either.
We're doing pony fighting. This is doing. We're going it.
Just shared the link to Naz's tweet in the chat, so please go vote if you're in the chat.
Oh, bless you.
Do the thing. Cool, awesome. So yeah, and Naz, you've done shamelessly self-promoting yourself.
I'm done. I'm ready for you to shamelessly plug
Finally,
yourself on your own channel.
Goodness. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Rob the Undead Gamer. You can find me on the social medias, Facebook, Twitter, and the Instagrams at the Undead Gamer, gamer without the E. And well, this month's going to be a funny one. Well, the next 2 months are going to be a funny one because I'm not in the UK until June. I'm in Italy doing my job, so there will probably be a lack of content. I'm gonna see how forthcoming and how wonderful the Italian internet wants to treat me, and I may do a stream once a week or so where we maybe play some Gwent or something I can do.
Do we need to have a conversation after this about this?
Yes.
We'll have a conversation about that.
That's fine.
Cool.
And maybe I'll do some IRL streams just to have a little catch up with you guys. But again, follow me on social media to find out if that happens. If not, when I come back in June, we're definitely going to be playing Bloodborne. So looking forward to that. So if you can wait 2 months and come back and watch me, please.
Whoop, whoop.
You can see me play Bloodborne. So yes. But as for the podcast... obviously, we're going to have a discussion about it anyway, but the plan is for this to continue regardless in some fashion or another, either with me present or not. Hopefully, if the guys are fingers crossed up for it. So, but yes, hopefully this monthly podcast will continue the way it does. So yes, but anyway, thank you very much, guys. You can catch me for the rest of this week on Twitch at my usual scheduled times, playing games. But yes, as of next week, I will not be in the country for any more. So yes, thank you very much for tuning in and watching this month's Undead Gaming Cast. I hope you've enjoyed the show, and hopefully we will catch you in the next one. Bye bye.
Ta-da.